Hello and welcome to our second video. So we're going to be checking out Haven, Rune and Shadow in this video. All the cards from the new set, Starforged Legends, which will be out very soon. So hopefully you guys enjoy this and we'll start getting right into the cards. So kicking this video off, Star Bishop, a 2-drop 2/2 fanfare, restore 2 defense to another follower. So just another basic heal card. Probably not that great. I mean, we've got better heal cards for Haven, so why use this one? We've also then got Red Hot Boots, 2-drop Amulet, countdown 3, fanfare, deal 3 damage to an enemy follower. Last word, deal 1 damage to a random enemy follower. So not too bad. I mean, the fanfare is nice, especially for a 2-drop Amulet and then dealing 1. Haven, I think, is one of the few classes that didn't have a 2-drop spell that dealt 3 damage, so giving it an amulet, that kind of works out nicely. I actually really like the design of this card. Then we have Sister of Punishment. So it's a 3-drop 2/3 fanfare, deal 2 damage to an enemy follower whose attack or defense has been raised. So targeting any kind of boosted card, I'm guessing like they want to counter Alice, so this is their answer, is just to create cards that deal damage based on attack and defense raises, which isn't bad, especially for a 3-drop 2/3. I don't mind this one either. Next we have a 4-drop 3/3 Star Chaser Spirit, or Sprite, I'm not sure how we want to pronounce that. Anyway, fanfare, draw 3 cards. Sorry, draw X cards. X equals the number of allied amulets in play. So you could pretty easily boost this up to at least 2 to 3 cards by turn 4 if you've got low cost amulets. It'll be interesting to see an amulet Haven deck, and I'll definitely be covering that because Haven is one of my favorite classes, right up there with Blood. So nice to see them getting some nice support. Next card, Agena. 3-drop 3/2 fanfare, subtract 3 from all damage dealt to your leader until this follower leaves the area. Wow, okay, if you can somehow defend this card would be crazy. Otherwise it creates a guaranteed target. Not too bad. Then we have Star Torrent, probably one of the few cards I'm extremely excited for because Seraph. So 3-drop spell, deal 1 damage to all enemy followers, subtract 1 from the countdown of all allied amulets. Basically the equivalent of the heal 3, then subtract 1. Sorry for the noise in the background, sounds like they're doing some extra work outside. I apologize. Anyway, on to our next card, Temple Ogre. So a 5-drop 4/3, when 2 damage or less is dealt to this follower, reduce that damage to 0. Whenever this follower attacks, gain +0/+1. Not too bad. I mean, it does get to subtract the damage, so anything less than 2 isn't effective. Not too shabby. Then we've got Star Priestess, a 6-drop 2/3 fanfare. Destroy an allied follower or countdown amulet, then return it to play. I'm actually kind of excited for this card. It's not great stat-wise, and there's probably other cards that are better, but be interesting to see in an Amulet Haven deck how you could pull this off. It's the equivalent of a Garuda, which deals 3 and procs an amulet pretty much, because, you know, 3 off an amulet is nearly guaranteed to proc it. But this one, on the other hand, returns it to play after its destruction. So, very interesting card. I mean, you could actually multiply Seraphs off this, which would be really cool. So, we'll see how this card goes. But I don't expect it to be top tier in particular. Not this card anyway. Not unless other cards make this thing absolutely crazy. So the next card we have is Globe of the Starways, 1-drop amulet. They really are pushing amulets this expansion. Countdown 3 fanfare, put a random countdown amulet from your deck into your hand. Last word, draw a card. I like this card. I got nothing else to say. It's really nice. The random countdown amulet is awesome, and the last word draw is just awesome as well, so why not for a 1-drop? Andromeda, so a 2-drop 2/2. No base effect, but its evolve effect. None of your other followers can be damaged this turn. Not too bad. It might work in, you know, you've seen Neutral Haven. This kind of card could work out. I mean, the evolve plus then being able to trade anything you want is pretty crazy, honestly. So not too bad at all. Again, I apologize for the sound in the background. I can't do much about that. they're pretty much just cleaning up the grass and stuff. So anyway, we'll go on to the next card. Tauros the Great, an 8-drop 5/3. Storm, whenever this follower attacks an enemy follower, deal X damage to the follower before it can deal any damage in return. X equals this follower's attack. So, wow, this thing can clear 10 drops pretty easily. You can go face with it for 5. It is an 8 cost though, which is a bit difficult, but it can trade nicely. Pity it's not a clash ability and it's just whenever this follower attacks, because then it would be pretty much unkillable unless you use spells, but not a bad card. I don't mind that. It's a bit high cost, so I probably won't see much play, but the effect is definitely an interesting take on its style. Then the First Haven Legendary, a beautiful looking card, 6-drop 1/3. Fanfare, randomly put one of the highest cost Havencraft followers, excluding either of the White Wings, so it can't summon itself, that costs less than your total number of play points from your deck into play, then give all allied followers +0/+1. So, obviously the first combo that comes to mind will be Aigis, because this thing is going to be crazy. Turn 10, play this, summons out an Aigis. Aigis can't be destroyed, which is pretty damn impossible to deal with. So another way to get it out, which is nice, especially considering that the problem with Aigis decks is consistency. So if you don't draw Aigis before turn 9, you pretty much can't play anything. So this card would be good if you don't have it. So again, pushing that late game curve. Obviously D-Shift will eat Aigis alive, it always has and always probably will. And if other big control decks come out that can just win out before Aigis can be dropped, probably going to push Aigis back, but I'll definitely try and work this into a deck somehow in the future. Then we've got Hirce's Avatar. Hirce's Avatar? Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, 7-drop 6/5. Last word, destroy every countdown amulet immediately after you play it. This effect lasts for the rest of the match. Wow. Okay, so even in a Seraph deck, this card is going to be good. Play this on 7, Seraph on 8. Seraph automatically destroys itself once, so you're going to get 2 drops. That means you only need 2 other cards to proc Seraph. That's awesome. Combo this with any other amount of amulets. Wow, I can't wait to see this card and mess around with it and see what I can do. But either way, I love this. That is an awesome, awesome card. So next up, we've got the rune cards, starting off with the Starseer's Telescope, a 1-drop amulet, Earthright. So it's an Earth Sigil. Not a big fan of Earth Sigils personally, but they can definitely have their own place. Draw a card, recover 1 play point. So the recover a play point is good. This Earthright effect doesn't activate unless this is already an allied Earth Sigil in play. Ah, okay, so that's a little more difficult. So you don't get the Earthright effect unless you already have another Earth Sigil in play. So you're not going to be playing this turn 1 and then turn 2 pulling anything crazy off. So not as nice as I thought it was going to be. Magic Owl, a 2-drop 2/2. No base effect, but it's evolved. Spell boost the cards in your hand 2 times. That's pretty good. I don't mind that. That's going to be really nice in, say, Daria. Maybe even in D-Shift, because that has a lot of spell boosts. And then, since it can spell boost spells, it's going to be great compared to some of the other ones that only spell boost followers twice. So, not too bad. Magic Owl. Lightning Lancer, 4-drop 4/3. No, again, no base effect, but an evolve effect. Deal 3 damage to an enemy follower. Not that impressive. I mean, we've already got cards that do this pretty much. I mean, Levi. That's pretty much this card, but cheaper. So, not that impressive. Astrologicist of the Mist. So, a 6-drop 5/6. Fanfare. If another allied follower is in play, use Earthright. Give +1/+1 and ward to an allied follower. So another Earthright procer. Not a fan. Doesn't look that impressive either. So 3-drop 2/3. Fanfare. Summon an Earth Essence. Whenever an allied Earth Sigil comes into play, restore 1 defense to your leader. This card could work quite nicely in the Earth Sigils. I mean, it's not a bad health gain. It's got an okay stat line. It summons its own Earth Essence, which pretty much guarantees you a 1 heal straight away, so that's not too shabby. Other than that though, still not that impressed by these cards. Most of these rune cards seem pretty lackluster, similar to Dragon, but I suppose with what rune already has, it's hard to design cards around it. So Magic Gun Hunter, 3-drop 2/2, Fanfare. If there are no other allied followers in play, gain Rush and Last Word, put a Magic Gun Hunter in your hand. So this is another refresher card, so as long as you have another follower in play, you can pretty much play this card infinitely, which isn't too bad. So, well, maybe not infinitely. Oh, maybe. Last Word, destroy, end of your turn. Yeah, you can pretty much play this card infinitely. Conception. Is that, I think, concentration? I don't know. Anyway, 3-drop spell, draw 2 cards, Earthright, draw 3 cards instead, then restore 1 defense to your leader. So they're really pushing this, restoring a small amount of defense to leader for these Earthright cards. This draw card isn't that bad. I mean, worst case, you're drawing 2. Best case, you're drawing 3 in healing. Dancer of the Sun, 4-drop 3/4. Another set line I don't mind too much, but I'm not too crazy about. Fanfare, summon a Earth Essence if there are no allied sigils in play. Enhance 10, double all other allied followers' attack and defense. Oh, not too bad. The enhanced 10, I don't mind. I mean, you're probably not going to be playing it much, but it's definitely not bad. You might actually even be able to run this on its own in D-Shift. You basically play D-Shift, you go into your next turn, have full 10 cost, and then double everything on the board. Going to create some interesting combos with this card. Chain of Calling, 2-drop spell. Artwork is awesome. Put a random Runecraft follower from your deck into your hand. So good for what, maybe? I don't know. Not that great for a lot of rune decks I can think of. It might be good for D-Shift because you can draw your high cards because you're not running many followers. That's about it. It's also a spell boost, so that's pretty good. It's definitely not a bad card, but I can't see a big purpose for it outside of D-Shift, so be interesting to see. Europa, so a 3-drop 1/4, enhance 5, evolve this follower. Evolve is Storm, Bane, and Ward with no stat gain. So Storm, Bane, and Ward are all good. Stat line is very mediocre. I probably would have considered it a 2-drop. Enhance isn't that great. It is a free evolve, but Rune just has better cards, I think. So unless something crazy happens, I don't think this is going to see much play. Wild Golem, 5-drop 2/3. Really wonky stat line, but its effect looks like it might make up for that. At the end of your turn, deal 1 damage to a random follower X times, maximum 10 times. X equals this follower's attack. Earthright, gain a +1/+2. Okay, so a reoccurring damaging effect. I actually don't mind this, and because of Earthright, you can actually turn it into a 3/5, which is pretty good, and Evolve on top of that will boost it even further. So as a 5-drop, this isn't the worst card. Then the first legendary, Star Reader Stella, 2-drop 2/1, another low-cost legendary. I do like these. At the end of your turn, random put one of the following cards into your hand: Venus, Pollux, Star Phoenix, Caster, Scorpius. Scorpius? Really? Interesting. Andromeda. So it looks like they're pushing the whole constellation planet thing. So you can get any of those cards. I'm sure we've covered most of them now, or at least some of them. So you've got, I think, one from each class nearly, because I know Scorpius is from Blood, Star Phoenix is from Dragon, I believe. So that's interesting. And I think Andromeda was from Forest? Either way, that's very, very interesting. That's what they're going with. I actually can't wait to test that card out. Giant Chimera, a 9-cost 6/6, so pushing that Chimera theme. Fanfare, deal 3 damage divided between all enemies. Start with the follower that came into play earliest and deal damage equal to its defense to the follower. What? Then distribute remaining damage to each follower equal to their defense in the order that the follower came into play. After the final follower takes damage, deal remaining damage to the enemy leader. Spell boost is 1 more damage. Wow, okay, so deal damage, kill, then subtract the damage you just dealt. So say you have 9 damage built up from spell boost, deal that to a 6-drop, then deal 3 to the next follower that come in. If that follower is less or doesn't exist, deal damage to the face pretty much. So it's going to continually deal damage until it runs out of damage to deal. Interesting card. Pretty sure that wraps up our rune cards. Yep, it does. It wraps it up. So, we'll be heading on to our next set, which will be Shadow, and then we've only got Sword and Neutral to their own video, and hopefully you guys enjoy that. So let's get right onto the Shadow cards. Okay, our last set being Shadow, Glooming Tombs, 2-drop Amulet. Whenever an allied follower comes into play, gain +1 Shadow. This is a permanent amulet unless destroyed by you or an outside force, so that's going to be interesting. It's going to take up a board slot, which most people might not like, but increasing Shadow's shadow gain is always an interesting idea, especially now that Hector has been nerfed. I can see this card being pretty fine unless something else crazy is coming into this expansion, but I don't mind seeing a card like this. So our next card, Belnus, 2-drop 2/2. Last word, deal 1 damage to a random enemy follower. Not a fan. 4, Caster, so this is one of those cards that rune card could pull, so 4-drop 2/3. Fanfare, if only one allied follower is in play, gain last word, summon a caster, so not another bad card. I mean, we're getting a lot of cards that can re-summon themselves, but since this will only be once, I don't know if it'll be that good, but it might be alright. Dark Blade Fiend, 5-drop 3/5, an okay stat line with ward. At the end of your turn, you use Necromancy 2, deal 2 damage to an enemy follower, so as long as you keep gaining Necromancy, which isn't too hard with that Shadow card, you could keep dealing damage. Sora, the Martial Artist, 3-drop 2/3, no effect, but evolve, deal 1 damage to 2 random enemy followers, so targeting those forest, maybe those blood decks, getting rid of 1/1 tokens. Troth's Curse, a 3-drop spell, destroy a allied follower and an enemy follower. This card can be played only when both a targetable allied card and enemy card are in play. Okay, so it looks like they're really clarifying that you need to be able to do both, just so you can use this card. Not really a fan. It might be okay if you combo it with your own decent last word effects, so maybe a Nep type deck could work this in, but I can see other cards being a little bit better. Herethgris, oh, how the hell do you pronounce that? That is a crazy name. Anyway, 5-drop 4/4, whenever another allied follower is destroyed, draw a card. Okay, not a bad card. 5-drop, a little high, everything else is okay. 8, Loot Leonardo Necromancer, 8-drop 4/4, so we're getting into the high cost silvers. Fanfare, summon 3 skeletons at the end of your turn, give a random enemy follower -4 attack and -0 defense. Okay, until the end of your opponent's turn if there are at least 4 allied followers in play. So this needs a full board, otherwise it then drops opponent's stuff. So don't know if this is too good. I mean, it's going to be cleared pretty easily. It's not the most crazy of cards, but it's okay. Andropolis. Wow, these names are pretty crazy. Anyway, 2-drop 1/2, last word, draw a card, evolve, give all the followers in your hand last word, draw a card, last word, draw a card. I don't know whether that's a typo or not. Otherwise, I'd assume that you're giving everything last word, draw a card twice, which would be weird, but I'd assume it is only given it once based on its unevolved effect. So this card's actually pretty good if you're playing it early, especially turn 2, you know, you can last word, draw a card on its own. It's got a little bit of a body, and you can pretty much just use it. I don't mind this card. Ceres of the Night, 4-drop 1/4, Clash, deal 2 damage to an enemy follower at the end of your turn, restore 2 defense to your leader. So another just Clash kind of card, pretty basic, deal 2 damage to the enemy follower. Nothing crazy about that. And then healing, you're going to be trading into a lot of low cost stuff with this. You basically get 3 damage instead of 1, so pretty straightforward. 7-cost Mist of Extinction, spell, destroy all enemy followers with 4 defense or less. Okay, fair enough. Kills off aggro decks, a bit high cost for a 7, I would have put it at 6, but not a bad card. 4-drop 4/3, Twilight Queen, legendary for Shadow, an interesting looking card for that. Last word, the next time an allied followers ability, last word ability activates, activate that ability once more. This effect is not stackable. So this allows you to proc last word twice. So for example, Mordecai will summon twice. Other cards would be double their effects, such as Kawi. Very nice card. Very happy with it. And of course, last card, Mail of Obliteration. I actually really like this artwork. It's a bit different to normal artwork, but it's alright. 7 drops 0-7. Stat better make up for that. Fanfare, add X to this follower's attack. This value equals the number of allied followers destroyed this match. Wow, okay. Considering how many cards Shadow can literally destroy, and because it's not relying on shadows to activate its effect, this card could have some crazy stat plays. Can't wait to see how this goes. So that wraps up this video. If you want to check out the previous video, it will be in the link in the description below. It may also come up at the end of this video. And our next video should also be coming up, which will be sword and neutral cards, and that will round out all of Starforged Legends. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that like button and subscribe, and I will catch you guys next time. See ya.